Alright fam, well it's time to engage. Moods are front and center, enter the stage. Mind, body and spirit to try synergy. Ask not like Kennedy, feel the energy. Jump as you live, try to give all positive vibes. Ignite your cognitive senses. The consensus, moods are stupendous, tremendous, and kicks like Juventus. Always on point, sharp like a knife, cutting through the bull, tame the strife of life. With no type of hype, don't like take a hike or roll the dice, grab the mic, connect like Skype. No need to save face, it's a safe space conducive to mental fitness, wellness inclusive. Chasing nirvana, elusive. Instead, shed the abusive pattern, real like the rings of Saturn. Full circle, Mutai's in purple, royalty regal. She's killing you with kindness, it's almost illegal. So my people, life is up and down like a seesaw. Calito, fly away high like an eagle. Watch the leaves grow. Once my flow is flawless, then it's finito.
This is Diplomatic Radio, from the streets to the underground.
Okay. Hello everybody. How are you all doing today? We're back on Shifting Your Mindset with Mutsa on Diplomatic Radio. As you know, this is a platform where everybody comes in and we talk about everything. We talk about life, relationships, everything you can think of in life. And we then move into shifting our mind into positivity. Because as we all know, life is an experience, isn't it? An experience full of lessons. So I'm here today. I'm going to be introducing my next guest soon. And we are going to hear his story. So how are you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah. What's good on your side?
Not too bad. I'm just here literally chilling now.
Oh, that's good. Well, we are live on air on Diplomatic Radio. Thank you very much for coming onto the show. And we are going to be talking about the hustler story today. So,
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. We all about uplifting each other, right? We need to be able to be in a situation where life teaches us, and then we move on from there to become better than what we were yesterday. So let's just crack on into the show. So Jazz, who are you? How old are you? Where were you born? I want to know every little thing about you, and then I'll pick it up from there. Hello? Yeah. I said I want to know who Jazz is. Well, the listeners want to know who Jazz is. Let's start off from your background, origins, where you were born, and and then we pick it up from there.
Well, my name is Junior. I'll give my full name this time still. I wonder it is. So my name is Junior Bailey. I was born in and raised in Jamaica. I was born in a little village called Clarendon, but I didn't grow up there. But I grew up in Kingston.
Right.
My mom moved me away when I was 1.
Yeah.
So I was brought up in Kingston.
Oh, you were brought up in Kingston. So, are you in Kingston right now? Where are you?
No. I'm based in the UK now.
Okay. So you were born in Kingston. How old were you when you came to the UK?
I came to the UK when I was like 16.
16.
About 15. I spent my 16th birthday in the UK.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about Kingston. And then we'll talk about the migration. What's Kingston like? Remember, we've not discussed what we're going to talk about. And we're going to tell the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. So, tell us about Kingston. What's life like in Kingston?
Well, life in Kingston is the capital of Jamaica. Back then, it was more crime in Kingston than anywhere else in Jamaica. So growing up as a little individual, I've seen things that I think kids shouldn't have been seen, because I grew up fast. I grew up very, very, very fast. Because when I came here at age 15, I was...
Okay,
I wasn't highly educated. I didn't went to, because I got kicked out of school early. But
we'll talk about that.
I realized that I was faster than most of the kids that I was around.
Okay, you saw things that a child should have never seen at a young age. What sort of things are these? What did you see?
Growing up in Kingston, you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna see murders,
right?
Bodies on a daily basis,
right?
Hustlers. You learn a lot.
Okay, so how old were you when you saw somebody murdered?
The first death I saw in front of me, I was age 6, 7. I think I was about 7, to be honest.
Right.
My mom sent me to the shop to buy a patty. You know what a patty?
Yeah.
Well, we call it patty and a cocoa bread. And I went to the shop.
Okay.
Buy a patty and a cocoa bread, and this guy just woke up. I don't know what him and the guy had before, but he just woke up to the guy, opened his knife, shove his knife into his belly. That's the first death I ever see happen in front of me, because I've witnessed the guy eat the food, and I've witnessed the guy just walk up to him, shove the knife in his belly, throw the knife back, and his whole stomach, intestine, everything fell out on the ground in front of me. So
in front of you.
That was
Shit.
That was it.
Okay.
That was my first seeing someone die at age 7. For me personally, when you grew up in that environment, it becomes normal. But when you come abroad and you see how people operate in different countries, you realize that things that you used to see and grew up, it's not really normal. You know what I mean?
So let's talk about this incident. You see this. What then happens? Did you went home and did you talk about this with your mom?
We got a saying in our community. You see, I'm blind, hear and deaf. So basically, what I see just happened then, I might can tell my mom, but I might can't tell my close friends. Because I might tell my friend, even though he's my close friend, he's going to tell a close friends to him. And that's how word pass around. You know what I mean?
So
you have to be...
So in other words, if you express like being, should I say soft, if you express empathy, is it seen as weak?
Anywhere, yeah. Especially in a world like that, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So,
in a world like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just because I've grew around my stepdad, which he always, you know what I mean, always reading the Bible around me and, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I've learned a different side also. You know what I mean? I know there was a righteous side to life than just, you know what I mean, than just crime.
Are you living in a house with your mom and your dad at this point, or were you just living with your mom?
At that point, I was living with my mom and my stepdad, because I've been brought up by a stepdad. I wasn't brought up by my own dad.
Okay, and did he say anything about that? Did you tell him what you had seen?
Yeah, I would tell my mom and my dad, and they would just tell me to keep it shush, keep your mouth shut.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? And that's it. So those are the images you have to keep in and keep your mouth shut at the same time. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
And if you're not strong, it can traumatize you from a kid.
So yeah, and so they've told you to keep quiet. You've seen somebody being stabbed in front of you. The intestines drop off on the floor, and you're like 7 years old. I would like. Okay, I can't even anticipate what was good. What did anything trigger in your mind then at this point?
At age 7, because remember, as a kid growing up, you don't really have much fear, and like I said, growing up in an environment like that is gonna become normal. At the first time I saw it, it kind of shook me a little bit, but you know, a few days, and then growing up in that environment, like I said, you see daily, a daily basis, so it becomes normal. If you know what I mean? Okay, like me growing up there now, after age 10, say age 10, 11, when we heard that someone died or I see someone die, it's like, it's another day.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's no longer something that phases you, but it's that
Phases
impact.
in so much worse.
Yeah, but it's that
Yeah.
impact I want to understand. When you were 7 years old, you know, that trauma, you know, do you remember that trauma? Or
Yeah, because you do have little. Because I remember having little nightmares and stuff like that.
okay, you had
You
a
know,
lot of
like
nightmares.
the same picture basically.
Okay, did you?
Because remember, you're young. Your
Yeah.
first time trying that. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's
Okay,
gonna.
definitely. And when you had these nightmares, did you speak to anybody about it, or you just kept them?
No, not really, not necessarily.
So you just
Like I
kept
said, we
them.
was brought up to be like, all right, mostly little boys in Jamaica, it's like they brought you up to be like a soldier, if you know what I mean. You
Okay.
can go, because this is why we can go anywhere and survive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If it take us 5 years to learn a language or some, we're going to learn, you know what I mean, regardless.
Okay.
You know, we're going to survive. So we learn to survive. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you've seen, so after that, life goes on and it becomes normal to you. In Kingston now, you know, you are now in an environment where, you know, it's survival mode. Did you start to live in the same way? Like, did you start not to care? Did you start to be violent as well? And
Well, growing up, like I said, growing up in that environment, you're gonna, because I'm a kid that grew up, I never used to give trouble. I
Okay.
was quiet. I was maybe the quietest one out of all my brethrens.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We still pop little jokes. I used to spit when I was younger, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was dancing. I was more involved in dancing then. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Growing up. You know what I mean? So I've always been around music. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Or-
you put your thoughts into dancing as opposed to the streets at this point growing up in
Growing up,
Kingston.
yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I did.
Right. So fast forward, you've grown up, you're into dancing, you know, you in Kingston, then you came to England at this point after when you're 16.
15. Came 15 because I remember spending my 16th birthday in the UK.
Okay, you came when you were 15. And at this point, did you come with your family?
Yeah, I came with my mom.
With
My
your-
mom came England before me. She came in, I think my mom came England 1999, I think.
Okay.
Just before 2000.
Okay. And
I remember she looking at me and said, give me 1 year, I'm going to work as hard as possible and try and come back for you. The reason for this, because the reason even my mom took me out of that environment, because it's two things I would have chosen when I was younger in Jamaica. It's either dancing or it's violence, because like I said, I grew up around it.
okay.
I mean, so it's either I would expand my talent into dancing or music, or this is why mostly people, you that you see do music in Jamaica, they take it so serious because they're coming from a serious background.
Right.
You know what I mean? They wanna get away. It's like a getaway.
Right.
You know?
So music is like their sanctuary. They
Their
don't want the
sanctuary.
violence, but they
Yeah.
you know, the violence wants them, sort of, so to speak. The violence just comes to them, even though they don't want the violence. Where is your stepdad at this point when you're coming to England? Is he
My
still in-
stepdad is a good man still. My stepdad, I never seen my stepdad involved in like any form of violence. He's not saying he's coward, but he's a man. He used to drive a taxi.
Right.
I mean, they say he used to look after me. He sent me to school for 7 years. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Look after mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You then, and so you had, how many brothers and sisters did you have, did you say?
I only got 2 sisters in Jamaica now.
Yeah.
I've got 2 brothers in the UK. And
Okay.
I've got 2 little siblings as well.
All right. Okay. So at least at this point in time, you have a role model. Your dad, he's a decent man as well, which is probably what was another good thing. Your stepdad,
Yeah.
your stepdad,
He's not,
he's
he's not involved in no. I never seen him involved in no.
Right.
And even if he was, then I don't know about it. You know what I mean? But I seen him get up every morning, get in his taxi, drive to work, and come back with loads of money, all because he's a hustler. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So at this point in time, you're doing pretty good in the concrete jungle. You're doing pretty good, refraining from all these things, these distractions, because you've got a role model there. You've got your mom there, and you've got your dancing, and you've got your siblings. Were your siblings good at this point as well?
Was my sister? You mean?
Yeah, you only had your sister at this point. Was
Yeah,
anybody involved in trouble?
My sister at this point, because she's the second oldest.
Right. So no, as far as you are aware at this point, no one in the household, was causing any trouble or was in any trouble.
No.
Okay.
Because I've known my mom to hustle. I've known my stepdad to hustle, and also even my real dad. My real dad he's a hustler. So
Right.
it's like I think it's something that's embedded in the family.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. That sounds good. So you come 15 years old. Now we're in England. Kingston, we've heard the part that you saw somebody being killed in your eyes at the age of 7, stabbed, intestines out, which is very sad. You had a little bit of trauma, but then how you're raised in an environment that you can't show weakness. So you take it and you carry on and life goes on. At this point in time, you're diverting your mind towards dancing, right? And everything seems quite stable. You then come here 15 years of age. What was that transition like for you? Coming from Kingston and being in England, what was it? What impact did it have? What did you see?
It was totally a new world. Totally a new world. Because
in what way?
When I've landed in England, my expectation of England anyway was, most of the people in the Caribbean, their expectation of this country is high. Like, no homeless people sleeping on the street, no, you know what I mean? So my first time walking through that airport, and I remember that winter breeze hit me, and I started shivering, and my mom said, I told you to put the coat on. You know what I mean? And I put the coat on, and I looked to my left, and I seen a guy sitting down, and he was begging.
Yeah.
And I turned around and I said to my mom, you got beggars in this country? She said, yeah. You got homeless people as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always that perception. I know there's always that perception when you're coming from a foreign land. People think when you come to, the European countries, it's milk and honey.
It's milk and there's money on the tree.
Yeah. But it's not like that, right? So you come to the realization that actually it's not as good as it is. Oh, by the way, we just want to say shout out to Mad Sule who's listening in. Shout out to you. We've seen you, we see you, and we'll talk about everything else, with all the shout outs as we go by. But you're in a different country now that is completely different to what you know, and you're trying to adapt. You went straight into school, obviously, I presume, because you're coming at 15?
When I came, I didn't get to go into school because my mom was living in Brighton at the time, and at the time it was terribly racist, because when my mom turned up there, she was trying to get me in school, and she turned up there, and one of the teacher, pull her to one side and let her know, listen, the last Jamaican kid that came here, I think the kid end up stabbing some kid in the school because they were bullying him every day, basically, because he was black. He was the only black kid in the school.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're saying it's not a good idea sending me to the school. Best I go to college.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah. I ended up starting going college, I think.
So you didn't actually go to school because your mom was told that you cannot bring in your son because we had trouble from another Jamaican young boy that came to, oh my God. So they didn't even say we want to get to know you or none of that?
No, it was terribly racist then. This time I didn't even know what was the racist slur, like they call you gully wag, monkey. I didn't understand that one. And a few more, you know what I mean, on and on, every day, constantly. I told my mom, listen, we're going to have to move from this place because I'm going to end up, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's how the transition started from moving to Brighton. We moved from Brighton to London. from London to Birmingham, and from Birmingham to Nottingham.
Okay, so when you were in Brighton going to college, were you going to college like everybody else? Life is moving, you know, you're decent, you're a good boy, and life goes on. You're adapting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no problems at the age of 50, nothing like that is going on in Brighton. And then in Birmingham, how old were you when you moved to Birmingham?
In Birmingham, I moved to Birmingham when I was 16, about 16, 17. I was about 17, maybe 17,
Right.
going up to 18.
And how was it? How was it? How was it?
Birmingham was a next different environment. Now, this is where I think my journey started, where, because before that, because I'm going to give it a download and even my mom, because
Yeah, yeah, we're keeping it real. We're keeping it real, you know, we're
100 still.
100. Yeah, you promised me that, so.
My street life began because it started in Brighton.
I just have one question. One question that I felt like I didn't touch, that I need to just go back to Brighton. The racism. I want to just talk about that a little bit more, because it just dawned to me that I can't just brush it off like that, because it's real. You know what I mean? It's real to the point that you're trying to go to school, but you're actually denied coming to that school because of, you know, yeah. So how did that make you feel?
I wouldn't even say it made me feel no type of way, because remember, it's a new country to me, and you know what I mean. And plus, when I came, my mom is explaining the situation to me and showing me that these people are, you know what I mean. Some of them are racist, you know what I mean. They call you all sorts of names and stuff like that. But in that period of time, my mom was also involved in you know what I mean, hustling. Also
Okay,
on the street.
yeah, we'll talk. Okay. So at this point in time, when you say your mom is involved in hustling in Brighton, what sort of hustling are we talking about?
We're talking about selling drugs on the street.
Your mom was now selling drugs on the street, and you were like 16 years old at this point?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But I need to go back before I came to England, because my mom gave me a little story that kind of pulled her into that way of life, because she came here, she wanted to work.
Let's go to tell us your mom's story, because we're now here. We've just heard that she's been selling drugs and all of that. So tell me about your mom.
But when she came to England, she was staying with this woman, and this woman and her husband, basically. And you know, as time goes on, because my mom wanted a job, and basically the woman got her a good job, and ended up taking the job. You know what I mean? So I think my mom kind of got, you know what I mean, and said something to her, and she kicked her out the house. So now it's in the middle of the winter, January. My mom was giving me the story, and she'd been kicked out on the street, nowhere to go, and the only help she got was from a drug dealer.
Right.
You know what I mean? He took her in, you know what I mean, give her a house, and our journey begins from there, because she's thinking, okay, then if this guy can help me, you know what I mean, do what I do, and the guy suggests, yo, listen, I can make you make this amount of money, and she's telling, she even saying, yo, I want to go back for my son, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she came within 1 year, she came back for me as well. So my mom was on a mission to go there.
She was on a mission. And bearing in mind, so when she came to England, she didn't know anybody apart from this woman that she was.
Apart from this woman, exactly. So it's like she's in a strange land, don't know no one. You know what I mean? I think when she went Brighton, she walked into this guy that she booked up in this guy that she used to go school with in Jamaica, and that's how our you know what I mean, our reputation started getting big in Brighton. Also, that is a cause of even some of the white boys that was being racist, because they were doing stuff down there on the street as well, but they're hearing of my mom.
Okay.
My mom was quite big down there, you know what I mean? She's a peaceful woman now, go to church and stuff like that, but I think I need to get it out in the hoping.
I know, and I respect that. Can I just say, I respect the fact that you're coming here and you're just saying it like it is. You know, not a lot of people would want their business out there like that. But
Yeah,
I'm praying, because the whole point of this platform is to be able to inspire people. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes we hold back on the experiences we have, and not knowing that the experiences are actually our teacher. You know, life is a teacher.
It's a teacher, yeah.
So when you go through certain experiences, when you share them, you help the next person to be able to maneuver when they have that same experience, and that's where the shifting of the mind comes in. You know, so I totally, you know, hands down, I got so much respect for you, because it takes a lot for people to come out and be real and be open, because we have that, you know, we have that sanctuary of just saying my business is my business, but life is, you know, would touch on that. So your mom is now a big drug dealer.
Yeah.
She's now a big drug dealer, well known in Brighton.
Yeah.
She's pushing for you to come to England, right? You then come to England, living with your mom, who is now, she has her own place by this time, I presume.
Yeah.
Okay, she has her own place, but you know, did you when you got here, did you know that this is what your mom's doing?
I know, but she was trying to hide it from me. But like I said, my mom know I'm not stupid, because she, like, when I was down there, I was younger. I used to smoke weed and stuff, and people used to ring her when she was in the UK. But my mom is like this, because when they ring her and say, "Oh, your son down here smoking weed, think he's a gangster, da 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 da," my mom would say, "Okay, all right then." Hang the phone up and ring me and say, "Son, you okay?" "Yes, mom."
Right.
She said, "You're not giving any trouble?" "No, mom. I'm okay. I'm not. You know what I mean? Dad, I'm okay."
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're okay, everything is okay. This is why me and my mom, I can speak about anything to my mom. You know what I mean?
She sounds like an amazing woman.
Yes.
She sounds like an amazing woman who did everything she could to fight, you know.
Yeah, to put bread on the food.
So when she came here, was she not able to get another job? Or
no, because her papers wasn't,
okay.
And
that's where
also because of her reputation up till now today, I think the government still kind of, because when it comes to my I got a hard fight, even got in my status in the UK because of the reputation of my mom. My mom even been on Crime Watch and stuff like that.
We'll talk about that. Don't worry. We'll talk about that. But I wanted to understand the reason why she didn't end up getting another job was because she didn't have any papers at this point.
They didn't give her the chance to. Because the police know about her. The police now go to the immigration and give evidence saying, "Oh, this woman da da da," but we can't get her their hands on her. Da, 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 da. So it's like in the period of time they were taking time to give us our status. It took them years before they give us any status in the UK.
I'm trying to. So when your mom came to England, she didn't have any papers to work.
She had no. My mom had. They gave her 6 months when she came. This is what I'm saying. She got the job. She was working for a bit. But she wanted a better job. But the lady got her a better job at a supermarket, which she's saying it was about £12 an hour.
Right.
In them times, that would have been good money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So my mom was willing to work. My mom is a working woman back home. Like I said, my stepdad and my mama, I seen them working.
Right, but circumstances of the fact, circumstances.
Crime around me. You know what I mean? Around it.
But circumstances of the fact that she didn't have any papers, and then she gets kicked out of the house. She's homeless technically, and then it was a drug dealer that then helped her, and then she took her in, and then that's when she started to hustle, and she was on a mission to get you to come, you and your siblings to come here, right? Yeah. So she was on a mission. So it was probably that again, that survival instinct that she grew up with, that kicked in, you know, to say, you know, I need to do what I need to do to get my children here. Okay, so that's a bit of your mom's story, but then we'll come back to her because I know there's quite a lot as well you want to say. We have 2 hours. What about now? You are now in Birmingham, but at this point in time as well, let me just get this clear. Even though your mom is drug dealing, you are actually not drug dealing at this point.
No.
Okay.
I'm working at this point.
You're working, okay.
Yeah, my mom is totally done with that life. Totally.
No, I mean during that time, you know, when you lived with your mom in Brighton, she was drug dealing, but you were not involved
at that point.
Yeah. At that point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, at that point, this is what I was gonna come to. That it wasn't no one that showed me the ropes on the street. It was like a family business, basically.
Right.
And I mean, because my mom was helping people come from the Caribbean to come here, so it was like she had a little empire for herself.
Right.
Basically, I mean, to took me to the UK when my mom came to Jamaica. She had to spend, because I didn't have no papers, so she had to spend a couple million, and it was just like that, bam, 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 and within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was on the plane.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get to this point where you've moved from Brighton. Your mom now has an empire, drug dealing empire, because obviously we've gone through the circumstances, and now you are in Birmingham, right?
Mm-hmm.
What then happens? So had you started drug dealing yourself at this point in Birmingham?
Yeah. How it started is because I'm telling my mom, listen, because she was hiding from me, like I said. And I said, listen, Mom, I know what you're doing. You know what I mean? I'm not stupid, because I've seen it in Jamaica. I've sit around one of my uncle in Jamaica before, and he came in with this big white stuff on the table. You know what I mean? And he started breaking it down, and I'm like, Uncle, what? And he turned around and looked at me in a mad way and said, you see this stuff? You never smoked this stuff. I was even wondering, what the heck is he talking about smoking? You know what I mean? Because I was young. You know what I mean? And he told me about it, stuff like that. He's saying, this stuff is no good. Daughter, make sure you never make no one even bill your spliff down here, because this was in Clarendon at the time, because I used to go back and forth to Kingston, Clarendon, Montego Bay, because I got family all over. I mean, so
you have papers.
Huh?
You had papers at this point, like when you're traveling. Were you traveling from the UK to all these places?
No.
Okay.
I was talking about back when I was in Jamaica.
Back. Okay. So you then say to your mom, let's be straight. I know what you're doing, and I want to do this. I want to be on the streets.
Yeah.
And what was the decision then? It became.
We have an understanding. I even, you know what I mean? I literally say just to cover my mom's business. Literally,
right. You started drug dealing and you took over. Right. We'll just take a quick break, Jazz, because now we entering your story. You are at a point now. You've come to an understanding. You know your mom's drug dealing. You've spoken to her about it, and then you get to a point where you actually say, "Look, I know what you're doing. I want in," and then you get in. And that's when you started drug dealing and running the empire. So we'll talk about what that life was like. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be back. Stay tuned. This is Shifting Your Mindset with Mutsa on Diplomatic Radio. I have Jazz with me, who has just shared his story. Recap about his journey from Jamaica, seeing a person getting killed in his eyes at the age of 7 and growing up holding it in. Overcoming the trauma, then traveling, coming to the UK, where he was actually not taken into a school because of where he was coming from, his race. And then after that, coming to a point of accepting that his mom was a drug dealer, a big drug dealer, and him joining in his mom, and it becomes a family business. Stay tuned, Shifting Your Mindset with me.
They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know how I feel inside. 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 Turn up the lights. Come and see the brightness of my darkness. Turn up the light. Come and see the brightness of my darkness in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength.
36 years fighting this life. God give me strength just to see 5. Dancing in the rain, praying in the pain, sitting in vain just to be shine. Plotting on the dots just to be fine. Pulling in a smile just to be right. Walking in a mile, floating on a pile, busting in the fire just to be high.
They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know how I feel inside. 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 Turn up the lights. Come and see the brightness of my darkness. Turn up the light. Come and see the brightness of my darkness in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength. My strength.
Think when I see them out of the corner of me eye. Pray them and pray and I hope for me die. Oh Father, you me have to ask you why. Why they kill the get a youth when them a try. I never see when you're dirty, but them see when you're clean. Why they made it so bad mind? Why they made it so mean? Tell it to me now, follow back on no man. From me a youth, me not take program. Sing me own a song, make me own slogan. El Gringo, them boy, they not know man. I never see you when you're dirty, but them see you when you're clean. Why they made it so bad mind? Why they made it so mean?
They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna know how I feel inside. 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 Turn up the lights. Come and see the brightness of my darkness. Turn up the light. Come and see the brightness of my darkness in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength in my weakness. I found my strength. I found my strength. I'm not tryna confess. I'm not tryna confess. I'm not tryna confess. I don't wanna stress. I don't wanna stress. I don't wanna stress. Feel it flowing.
This is Diplomatic Radio, from the streets to the underground.
My river keep me going. My river keep me going. I don't wanna know. 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 I don't wanna know.
Yeah,
I don't wanna know.
we back on it
I don't wanna know.
with Jazz
don't wanna
telling
know.
his story.
I don't wanna know.
And for those that have just tuned in, we have Jazz in the house who's sharing his hustler story, his journey from Kingston, Jamaica, getting to a point where he is now in the UK and he is drug dealing. Right, Jazz, we back on live. You there?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go back now to the point where we were talking about you've now agreed with your mom that you will, take over and you will start the dealing and all of that.
Yeah.
So when you say you started dealing, what is it you used to do exactly? What was happening at this point?
Get what you're getting, break it down. Get a few houses. This is why even when a couple of the youngest come up to me and they're talking about their OT and going out to the town and stuff like that. I'm saying, bro, it's something that I've been doing it from I was young. I didn't even know how fast I grew up. You know what I mean? So when you grow up and you realize you was way fast. Your brain was,
Yeah.
In that world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That kind of world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean.
Okay. Okay. So with this drug dealing that you're doing, are you selling to adults, kids? How big was this?
No kids.
Right.
In everything that you do, you always have to have principle.
Right.
In anything that you do, if you're a robber, you're a thief, anything that you do, you there's always principle in what you do. You know what I mean? I like a guy with principle. So there's
Right.
some things I still won't do. I got my, you know what I mean? I got conscience.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. And how big was the ring now? You know, when you're in Birmingham, how were you selling it 24/7?
Well, it reached to a point where I didn't really want my mom on the street because I'm a man, so
Yeah.
we believe in that, like the man's supposed to go out there and hunt.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it reached to a point where I'm telling mom, you know, you need to come off the street. I was just, you know what I mean? So it reached to a point where at age 16, 17, I'm paying my mom rent, making sure she's okay. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So literally now your mom is now off the streets, but basically handed everything over to you, and you're now
Basically, in some words.
right, and you're now on the streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know we always see this perception. When we watch things on TV.
On TV.
Is that how it's like?
Yeah.
It's,
Well, you can
you know, and
put it that way, yeah.
you know, we see all these things, and you know, we're like thinking, wow, this is, you know, we kind of have that like wow moment, you know, when you see people burning money and all of that stuff and popping bottles.
That kind of stuff. I've seen a few Jamaicans do that, and even that up till this day kind of pissed me off because you see, because we know where we're coming from.
Right.
We didn't born with a gold spoon in our mouth. So for us to come here and do what you're doing and make money and then pop bottles and you know what I mean, hype on your friends, looking your friend's girl and pouring champagnes over your head is retarded.
Yeah.
To me, it's retarded.
Okay. All right. So you were just like, this was just work to you. You were like, you know, 9 to 5.
Like a day job. It's my job, basically. In anything you do, you have to take it serious. This is why I stay away from people, because if I say you're my brother, you're my brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
So did you have other people work with you, or it was just you now? Just you on your own?
We did have other people, because my mom sent for a few people, so we did
Oh.
have other people that was working with us. Some branched off doing their own thing, but we still see each other.
Yeah.
Still see eye to eye, say hi. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
so did you make a lot of money, if I may ask?
We did, but easy come, easy goes.
Right, because I was going to ask that at this point in time, you know, obviously haven't touched about, you know, the police and everything. At this point in time, you obviously said you're doing this because this is your hustle. You want to make it, you know, you want to make money and all that, you know, and all of that. And if you had made money, I would have thought you would have then say, you know what, I'm going to come out of this. But you chose to keep going. Is there something in that element that when you start, you can't let go? What?
It's an addictive lifestyle. This is why when you see anyone that get involved, it's a hard getaway. Because even for my mom, it was a hard knock. You know what I mean? Because like now my mom she live cash. You get what I'm saying? And she don't mind, because she's saying, listen, I'm not going back to prison.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Straight up.
Okay, so at this point in time, we're actually saying to ourselves, your mom has gone. Has she? So when you started dealing this, did your mom then, you know, go to prison then whilst you were dealing, or this is before?
In the period of time when he was in Birmingham, what happened is some guy had a next operation in Birmingham, an ex-Jamaican guy, and he been watched by the feds for maybe about 4 years or something, because he was running some mad operation in Birmingham, and police, they just wanted this guy. And I've been hearing of the story because I was around the guy, and he wanted me to get involved in what he was doing, but for some reason my spirit was saying, nah, I want to do my own thing.
Okay.
Type of thing. But we still link, we still talk. But my mom now, he must get knowing with my mom, spoken with my mom, or my mom, you know, she can get her hand on things.
Right.
So she get her hand on some stuff, which she, like I said, my mom was just chilling. She wasn't doing nothing. She get her hands on some stuff, and this guy brought her somewhere where the police are watching. My mom just went there. My mom didn't even like go there to, like, it was like, you know, there on a daily basis doing anything. You know what I mean? She just went there twice with the guy, in and out, that's it. And the operation came to a point where they start arresting everyone. My mom got the less here because they're saying it's like anyone that walk in. This is why an operation is secret, because anyone that walk in an operation, regardless or not, you're gonna get sentenced.
Right.
This is how England operate. You know what I mean? So
okay.
My mom got 4 years, which is her first sentence.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wait, when your mom got arrested, did you also get arrested at this point?
No. I didn't get arrested. I was walking up to the door today and seeing two guys in a suit when they're knocking on my door, and I asked them what's the problem. They're saying they're CID, explaining they come to see Mrs. Ann Taverner, I was like, what? You know what I mean? Then they opened the door and said, Mrs. Ann Taverner, you're under arrest, read her rights.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's it. So when your mom went to prison, did you carry on?
I have to. She didn't have no one else. And bear in mind,
even though she's got arrested, you still carried on.
Yeah. Bear in mind, at this age, I'm 17 years old. I don't even know nothing about no immigration, none of this. Remember, I'm young at this time. My mom gone in prison. My dad and my mom go to prison now, so it leaves me alone in an empty space.
Right. So your mom and just
have no one to say, okay, do this or do that, because the friends that she have around her at the time. Now, when she was out the picture, everyone was smiling now.
Right.
It's a dirty game. You know what I mean?
When you say it's a dirty game, how dirty?
It's a game where it's like even your best friend will change because of money, if you know what I mean. Because when my mom was in prison, they didn't even look at my mom. Like, my mom did loads for pay rent. I seen my mom even, and I'm telling her, why are you paying rent for people? Like, are you crazy? You know what I mean? You can't even afford to do that at the minute. You know what I mean? She'll go out her way for friends. This is why she keeps herself to herself now. You know what I mean? And I think I adapt that from her.
Right.
Because when I make friends, this is why I don't go around people, like I said, because some people are not the way how you perceive them. You know what I mean? They say they're brothers, but you know what I mean?
So, okay, so your mom goes to prison, you then stay, you still continue to deal at this point in time. And because you felt like you were the only thing that your mom had, and it was your responsibility to do what you needed to do. Did you have your papers at this point in time, or you didn't have papers as well?
And this is what happened at the time, because when my mom went, remember, I'm 17, so they gave me a social worker, and this guy was a Jamaican like myself. And you know what the guy did? Because back then when I was 17, I could have got my papers then. This guy could have helped me to get my papers. He didn't. He gave me a place, and he used to give me like 40. I remember he used to give me like £45 every week.
Right.
For 1 year, he used to pay me, because remember, I'm doing my stuff on the street. So for 1 year, he's giving me that £45. I was just saving it. I was just putting it down.
Yeah.
Putting it down. Lucky thing I was putting down that money.
Right.
When I reached 18, the guy said to me, listen, you're going to have to go. You get me? I'm going to have to kick you out on the street, because you're 18 now. You can go out on your own, And bear in mind, like I said, I don't know nothing about the system, because back then I could have just go to someone in the system and say, listen, my mom is in prison, I'm 17, that they would have helped me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was young.
Okay.
But I didn't have no help. So my only help and what I knew is to just go on the street and do what I do best.
Right. Okay.
You know what I
So
mean?
you're in a situation where you've got no help, nobody, your mom is in prison, you've got no papers, so you just have to do what you have to do to survive.
Do what I do.
Right.
Basically.
Okay. And so at which point did you then get arrested?
I got arrested. When did I get arrested? Did I get arrested in Birmingham? No, I never get arrested in Birmingham. I got arrested like a couple of fights and that was just basic. But I got arrested when I was in Nottingham. Basically, a guy owed me some money. Looking for him. He's hiding for a few days. I kicked his door off, and I left like my handprint in the house. So basically, the police came back there, and then that's how I got arrested. I got arrested on some retarded stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I never got arrested for nothing serious, and that's the fucked up. Oh,
So-
forgive me. Sorry.
So you got arrested. You got arrested for something that was completely different to what you were doing. So you never got arrested for all this hustling you were doing. The other. Never.
Yeah, never.
How many years did you serve in prison?
It wasn't years. It was like a few months, because this is how I got involved. This is how I got to know about immigration now when I went to prison.
Right.
So I started getting to because they keep me for I've got 10 months, do 5, but they keep me for over like nearly 1 year. Because when my sentence finished, immigration sent me to detention center. But they sent me to detention center, which was Collinbrook in London. When I went there, even the people are saying to me, "Why are they sending you here?" Because I didn't fit the description of being sent home, because I got 10 months. It was 12 months and over by law before they can decide if they want to send you home or not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when they send me to Collinbrook, they send me beside guy that done murders like 15 years, 20 years.
And what was life like in prison? How was it? For the few months you were in there.
It was just the same old. I was. When you live in the life, it automatically kicks in. You know what I mean? For me, anyway, because once I reach prison, it's the same. It's the same mentality. You know what I mean? I was making money when I was in prison, so it's.
You were still hustling whilst you were in prison.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Once you live in that life, it's just.
So even though you're locked up, it's not even clicking in your head that this is it. You still carry on hustling.
Yeah.
Right. So you finally serve your time. You come out after a year. What's the plan? What does Jazz do at this point in time? What do you do then?
I came out, met a lady from Liverpool. I got married in the same period of time. I think I got married in the same period of time, and I went to Liverpool to live for 2.5 years.
Right, so you got married at this point in time in Liverpool, but you're still living the same lifestyle. You're still hustling.
No, when I was there, I was working.
Oh,
this is when my life started changing a little bit, and I started seeing things a little bit different.
Right. So what triggered that? Because you're in prison, you got arrested. That didn't trigger you. You keep doing what you're doing, whilst you're in prison. But then you come out, then all of a sudden that clicks. How did that happen? What triggered that too?
I think it was her as well, because we was born on the same day. We share the same birthday. So I think she's like, she was the opposite to me. Like, I was a hustler, but she works all her life.
Yeah. Okay.
So she kind of pushed me. I even said to myself, you know what? Because I'm a guy that I like to challenge myself as well. I said to myself, like, you know what? I want to feel what it feels like to wake up in the morning and go to work every single morning. And I'll tell you this, shout out to all the hard-working people that work a day.
You're doing amazing. I'm shifted as well. Just by talking to you, I'm really, really shifted. Like, oh my God.
I appreciate it to, let me come on this platform and express the realness.
The realness, yeah.
I'm trying to be real as 100% with you.
You are very, 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 very real. And I just want to say again, you know, I'm super humbled to hear your story, and it's quite interesting because, you know, sometimes when people hear, oh, he's a drug dealer, or, you know, this is what it's not good, but obviously there's a story behind it.
You get judged.
Yeah.
Even now, like for my mom to even get a job, my mom is even working in G4S, and she's not, because remember, my mom got a criminal record, but because of her aura and how she speaks to people, and you know what I mean, the lady of the manager get her the job in there, you know what I mean, and speak to a couple managers as well.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't really use your past to judge you, because, you know what I mean, you're trying to change. And if you're trying to reform, and that's the next thing as well, if you're trying to reform, they should not refuse you because of your past, you know what I mean, your criminal record also. Just like to get that in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I also want to then I want to go back to where we are with your story. You are at a point now where you have changed, you have reformed, you've stopped hustling, you're married, and you're saying it was actually was it your girlfriend, your wife, that made you change? Wow.
Yeah, I will give her that 100%.
I need her secrets, please. I need to know. I need to know her secrets. So, okay.
I don't know, like, she was like, because even when I was in prison, she was back and forth. You know, I mean, from Liverpool, every week, guaranteed I'm getting my visit. So
she was
someone
loyal.
Someone like that was loyal to me, it was like, you know what I mean?
Because bearing in mind, most of your life you really had nobody, but now life is giving you something, you know. Despite whatever you've gone through, life is giving you something, and it's that one person, you know, that actually, you know, cares and is riding with you till the end, and that's powerful, you know. Shout out to her. And so did you then start to realize that this is not life, you know, this is not the route, this is not the way to go?
Yeah. It makes you realize a lot, and a lot of mistakes that you have made also.
Let's talk about those mistakes, because this is what we want everybody, you know, listening out there to be able to learn, you know, especially the young boys these days. You know, we want them to understand. You know, you have obviously walked in those shoes, you know, you've walked that lifestyle, you know what it is, you know, and you know it's no longer worth it. It doesn't serve you, to a point where, you know, do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. I want to understand that element of what makes it not, you know, how do you know it's not the right thing anymore?
It's not the right thing, because crime only brings two things: prison or death.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And the
powerful.
two is not good. You get me? So you can, if you're smart enough, you can read in between the line. Like now, I still got my little flaws. You get what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. Like I said, I will always say no one is perfect, but I try.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm trying. As day goes by, I'm trying.
And
you
know that, so that the drug dealing life, you completely over that.
Yeah, completely cut that out. Completely.
Okay, that's wonderful.
100.
Because, so I guess what you're saying, the key thing in here is, you know, crime only gives you two things: death or prison. There's no other option. So all these things that we see on TV and all that stuff, that's just mediocre.
It's not a lifestyle to glorify. It's nothing to glorify.
There's nothing to glorify.
I don't glorify nothing about being gangster. This is why I've never said to a person that I wanted to be a gangster. I always said I wanted to be a businessman. Even when I was younger, I always say I wanted to be a businessman. Even when my friends saying, "Oh, I want to be a gangster," because, you know, as a gangster, they see gangster, they have nice chain, nice cars, you know, the nice girls, you know what I mean? So,
but you haven't been about that life. You were just trying to make that money.
I always said I wanted to be a businessman. You know what I mean?
Right.
Always.
Okay. So what's happening at this point in time?
Well, at that point, I was even more focused on my music, going to work. I got a security job at the time because my I think I sent off back for my paper to be processed again because it's like they're giving me so many years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I sent back for my paper to be processed again. In the period of time I couldn't work, so I had a friend. He's from Zimbabwe as well. There's loads of shout out to all the Zimbabwe. I have to shout out.
Thank you.
Because there's loads of Zimbabwe in Liverpool, and this guy had a firm.
Yeah.
And he helps people that don't have, like, you know, his brothers and sisters that don't have no papers.
Yeah.
He can get them on, give them a little job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give them a little change, and that's how I get on. I start doing a bit of security. I respect that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's powerful. Wow, it's powerful to know that. So we coming back to you, Jazz. You mentioned that you sing. Let's go into the singing now. So now Jazz has left this lifestyle, life on the streets, this hustling thing. He's into music. He's into working. Tell me more about the music.
Singing was always around me. Like I said, let's take it back to Jamaica again.
Mm-hmm.
All the artists that you know, like Beanie Man, your Bounty Killer, your Elephant Man, Ari Toddler, Nitty Kutchi, you name them. They used to come to my aunt's yard to sit down and write their music and vibe. So
did you really say Beanie Man and Bounty and everybody?
Yeah, I know Bounty Killer before he was named. Yeah, my mom had a fight with Bounty Killer over a cassette. Like, them days it wasn't CD, it was a cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? My
Your
mom
had a fight with Bounty Killer.
He was Bounty Hunter.
Right.
You know what I mean? He used to walk with you know those like those little angel that people keep in their house, like their carveries.
Yeah.
He used to sell. That's how he started. That's his hustling.
Right.
He used to sell that and build himself up, and then within a year or two, he's the one that inspired us as a youth. I seen him driving past in a drop top.
Right.
You know, within a year or 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you see, hustle and put that in his music.
But hustling in a good way, in a decent way, that had no crime affiliated. He was just hustling, you know, to try and get into the music industry, which was his way out.
Yeah.
Right. That's amazing. That's inspirational. Oh my God, I can't believe your mom had a fight with Bounty Killer.
Being Elephant Man, Nitty Kutchi. They might not remember me, but I remember them as a youth. You're gonna remember that as a kid because
you do.
It was emperor, like, you know what I mean. They inspire you.
There you go. It's all, you know, the inspiration always comes from a point when you are young. Do you know what I mean? So going forward now, so you start doing your music. So so they don't want to know actually that's Jazz in that song.
I was like me and my friend here, we was maybe the only Jamaican back then that even when our own Jamaican used to see me around the African brothers and sisters, they used to be like, oh, you must turn African now and da. I'm like, brother, they our brothers and sisters. They might have been, you get what I'm saying? We might have been far from them, but they are our brothers and sisters. With me, I don't judge.
Yeah.
If you treat me good, I treat you good. You know what I mean? That's how I see life.
Okay, so
I love all my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that's good.
We all got our differences, but regardless, we're
brothers and sisters. And I know you're my brother. I know Medinflow is my brother. I know Sule is my brother. And we're all from different countries, but like, we all brothers. So tell me about your music. Tell me what's going on in the music scene. That's what I want to know. Because that's your passion, right? Your music. That's where the end goal was, the music.
That's how I get my frustration out.
Tell me about.
You know what I mean? That's how I used to get my because I used to have bad hunger problem.
Yeah.
Now, like very bad. I never used to speak. Like if you know me a few years ago, I would sit here for like a couple hours and you haven't heard one word hum from me. You know what I mean? So it was a bad thing, and my mom started telling me, listen, you need to start talking because you just keep things in and it boils up and it's not good. You know what I mean? It will get you into problem, and it's true. You know what I mean? So this is how I learned to start in expressing myself. Even now, me talking is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you express yourself in your music.
Through music. I used to just express myself through music. This is why it comes natural.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not something that I'm forcing, or it's just natural. I can be here now and just freestyling or singing or
really.
Make up
What are you doing music-wise?
Music-wise, like I said, I just need to start shooting some visuals and just push out more singles. But what I need to do is I just need to sort back out like my PRS and stuff. Just get myself together, because I want to make music money off this music, because I've been doing it for years. I've done loads of free shows, loads of carnivals, loads. I've done it.
Okay.
I've done a few.
So do you have any new? So are you now pushing this as your career, as opposed to the street life? You're now pushing the music.
I've realized now it's my gift.
Is it?
So
Right.
it's your gift. Use it to your potential. See how far you can take it. You know what I mean?
It's amazing that you say that, because I always believe the things that make you successful in life are the things that you're passionate about. Things that you believe in, things that you love. Those are the things that will get you that end goal. And it takes a lot for people to come to the realization of this is my passion. And I'm glad that you took that path, even though that path it had a lot. It was like from hell to back. But you now at a point where you actually realize this is my talent.
True.
So I really, really respect that, and I'm glad that you're at a point where you completely say no more street life for me. I've realized my passion and I'm pushing it. So what are the latest songs, and where can we find your tracks? What are the latest songs you have at the moment, and where can we find it?
You can look up Lux Beats on YouTube channel. Check out They Don't Want to Know. A few more singles as well.
On Lux Beats' channel?
And Lux channel, YouTube channel.
Okay, Lux Beats.
Lux Beats.
Okay. Social media?
Yeah, social media wise, Lux Beat. If you want to find me on social media, it's jazz/music87.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the moment, I haven't really been pushing out as much, because, like I said, I need to get back. I need to log back into my PRS, sort my PRS properly, get like a Vivo channel, and just get my thing in order, which I'm on the verge of doing right now as we're speaking.
Right. So okay, so you on the verge of doing your PRS?
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, which is your royalties for your music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your tracking numbers, stuff that we should have, because even now you got like what you're doing now. You don't even know how powerful what you're doing is. So powerful.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you see it. You know what I mean?
I see it. It's my passion.
That you be as big as possible. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm trying. We have like.
You're a grinder. From I know you till now. From the moment I know you, I realize that you're a grinder. You know what I mean?
Thank you. No, my passion is to help people. I love to help people. That's my calling. That's my satori. And the whole point of this platform is to get people like you, that have gone. You've seen a lot of trauma, and can I just say I am proud of you, my brother, for the journey that you've taken, and taking that responsibility and ownership to become who you are now. Jazz, I didn't know all of this. To round up, what is it you want to tell people out there? What's the message? How are you going to shift this? We've heard your story, which is shifting, yes, but you must have things inside that you want to, talk about.
As in music-wise?
Or? We'll start with personal things, because, from your journey, and then we'll touch music-wise, because that's your passion.
As in personal things, I would say the first subject that we hit, that we need a black community, because we don't have a black community. People keep saying, black community. I don't see a black community.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until we have a black community, a strong black community, that we can support and love each other and push each other. Because even the other day I heard Idonia, which I don't know if you heard, of Idonia artist in Jamaica, which he's speaking about the same thing, about the unity among the artists in Jamaica. They need to start pushing also the young artists that's coming. Because remember, they're coming from a background which is poverty. You know what I mean? And you holding them back and pushing them back, that's going to lead them back to crime. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
So if you can do anything to take someone from that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm not perfect, but if I can give a brother advice and say, yo, brother, this is the right way, trust me, bro. You know what I mean? You know me, I've been there. That, because a couple of the younger brothers that will listen to me when I speak, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
So Jazz, I'm running out of time, you know. It's been a pleasure.
Can I bless up your show just before I go?
Yeah.
Just a quick prayer before I go.
All right, okay? Jazz. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. This is Psalms chapter 67, verse 1.
Yep.
God be merciful unto us and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us, Selah, that thy way may be known on the earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. Let the nation be glad and sing for joy. For thou shalt judge the people righteously, and govern the nation upon the earth, Selah. Let the people praise thee, O God. Let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield or increase, and God, even our own God, shall bless us. And God shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him. Blessings, and thank you so much to have me on your show, Princess. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jazz. That, you know, I'm not usually emotional, but I'm touched. I'm humbled. You just ended the show with a prayer.